Let's talk about your metal regrets. That's right, I've done a video on my own metal regrets throughout my career on YouTube and also throughout my, metal listening experience. And now it's time for your guys' turns. So I'm going to read every single comment. I'm going to talk about each one. First up, we have Frederick Hallin. I really regret that I've never seen Motorhead live. Motorhead. I've never seen Motorhead live. You had the chance to see them in Stockholm, but didn't go. I don't want this to turn into a video where I'm just like, I've seen them, but yeah, Motorhead was great. Lemmy, fantastic, legend. So that's sad. That is a big regret. Una also says, not getting into metal earlier since you only got into the genre in 2022. So you've only been into the genre for like 3, almost 4 years. So you're a newbie. That's good. Plenty to explore. You've probably got hundreds of albums and discographies to explore, which is great. Exploring Enslaved's discography the first time is just magical. Opeth, stuff like that. Oof, so good. Marcel says, missed Fit for an Autopsy gig because I forgot about it. You had the tickets, but you mixed up the dates and just didn't go. That's just stupid. Okay, that's just stupid. Almost like my friend, who we went to Download Festival one year, and he forgot the only thing he needed, his bloody ticket. You don't need anything else. Don't need food. Who needs water? Beer is water. But, yeah, he forgot the ticket. What a knob. Coconut Hut says, missed out on seeing Dream Theater on the Parasomnia tour, James Kill, The Change of Seasons. I did not see that tour either. I saw them on the Images and Words tour, where they played Images and Words in full, and The Change of Seasons, which I fucking loved. So, yeah, I'd like to see Change of Seasons again. Love it. Monstro says, Sepultura played a free show in my city and it didn't go. You live in the middle of nowhere and it was a rare event. See, that's quite sad. You don't get shows a lot and then this free show comes up and you don't go. Ooh, that's hard. Billy McFarlane said, I saw Falling in Reverse live this year. Saw them live and enjoyed it a lot. That's more a secret that I don't tell anyone. Well, now everyone knows, Billy McFarlane. You love Falling in Reverse. Mark says, not getting into metal sooner. You missed so much. And not metal but rock. You regret not seeing Sum 41 live before they broke up this year. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of that, I reckon. A lot of people who wish they got into it sooner. Trolling in Paradise says Opeth and Mastodon were on tour. You thought about going but missed it. And then your mother got COVID and beat it. Thank God for that. But then Brent from Mastodon is gone. That's sad. It's always sad when someone passes away and you couldn't see them live. Me, it was Ozzy. I've seen Brent in Mastodon before. He was always good. So yeah, that is a sad one. Martin Howell Videos says, wasn't a huge fan of Metallica, so missed them playing Master of Puppets at Download. I was there. I saw it. I'm going to be one of those gloating bastards. Ruthless Metal says, same as me. Never seen Black Sabbath live. Seen Dio, but never Sabbath. Yeah, exactly the same as me. Dio, fantastic, but Sabbath, never seen. Sadly. Rob Christensen said he's been to 700 concerts and at least 15 festivals. The only one you regret was you dug the first Ghost album. Me too. You and your roommate were debating about heading to a small club, ultimately deciding because who headlines with a 35-minute album. You saw them 3 times after that, after they were big, but it would have been cool in retrospect. Yeah, seeing them in a very small venue back before they blew up and they now sell out stadiums, the same as Iron Maiden, which is crazy. Yeah, it would have been cool. More personal gig. Ryan Daniel says, tickets to see Pantera, Slayer and Morbid Angel when you was a junior in high school, but your dad ended up not letting me go because he had summer school / football or something stupid. Yeah. That's stupid. Imagine seeing Pantera, Slayer, and Morbid Angel in a row back then. That would have been phenomenal. What a great selection of bands. That would have been so good. Foreign Candy says, had a chance to see Cannibal Corpse back in your home time. Nobody wanted to go with me, so I decided to stay home. A few months later, we had the COVID shutdowns, and they haven't been able to see them since. That's annoying. That is annoying. I've seen Cannibal twice live, but I'd love to see them again. They always put on a good show. My neck is always dead after a Cannibal show. Pius says, missed Woods of Ypres show in Montreal because of anxiety problems. Then David Gold died in a car crash. Yeah, that's a bad one. Okay, you win so far. You win. Also not getting the Malevolent Grain EP by Wolves in the Throne Room back when it was available. In fact, a lot of albums are missing in my collection that you'd love to own. The worst is having been with girlfriends and ex-wife that's not into metal. That got me nowhere. Now I have someone who loves metal, if only we had the money to enjoy it. My advice is to hell with non-metal people. Aye aye there, Captain. Aye aye. Here, here. Next up, Grit Baines. Didn't catch Maiden on the Future Past tour back in 2023. Big regret, because what a set list that was. Yeah. That was a good set list. Alexander the Great. Oh, Jamie, the lucky fucker got to see them. I saw them on the tour after that. And I saw them on the tour before that. Legacy of the Beast. But I missed out Future Past. Which is annoying. Daniel Liderman says, in 2022, both Creator and Behemoth performed in my country. And I did not know them that well. But now they're two of your absolute favourites. That also sucks, because I look back at festivals I've been to, and there's some bands I love now that were on them, which I completely just missed. So that always stings. The Horror Shark says, not being alive in the 70s and 80s to see all the bands I love in their prime. Yeah, imagine seeing all the bands in their prime. Slayer in the prime. Oof. Metallica, like, in the fucking 80s. Oh, be too good. George Macpris says, never seen My Dying Bribe, and probably never will see them due to the departure of Aaron. I know, that was so random. Like, the singer just bloody leaves. Like, what's going on? What's going on? Was he fired? I can't remember. Raf says, missed Megadeth, Slayer and Testament together in 2011, sorry. That one still chafes my balls. Now, I don't know about Slayer, but I was at the Bloodstock Festival where Megadeth headlined, and I think Testament and Exodus was there. And I think Annihilator was there as well. Maybe Power Trip was there that day. That was a fucking great damn festival. Close enough. Just missing the Slayer. But yeah, that's a good show. Scary Bear says, never seen Bolt Thrower live. Me too. Me too. Klausterberg says, not going to concerts on my own. Back then, I would not go to a show if nobody came with me. Band that I missed out on is At the Gates. Sadly, the singer passed away recently. Another one. You know, you can't see it because the singer has died. I saw At the Gates twice. I saw them sub-headline Behemoth one time, actually, and that was fantastic. He has a great voice, so it's truly sad. Ben Webb, missing seeing Rotting Christ and Borknagas. He could work an extra shift. Should have been Paul and seen a good concert. Yes. Be Paul. Go to the show. Go to the fucking show. The Satanic Monk says, Opeth and Mastodon on tour, and I missed it. Is that the same tour that someone else was talking about? Opeth is your favourite band, and Mastodon is third or fourth. And Brett gone. It'll always be a missed show. Yeah. Yeah. That'll be sad. Temex says, not going to see Iron Maiden in Helsinki 2025. There was only some shit seats left, but I'm still fearful you'll never see them again. I was like that. That's why I booked that ticket, and that's why I went to see them. Because Iron Maiden is like one of my favourite bands. They got me into metal, so I had to see them before any of them passed away. I know Nico left as well, so you never know when the time's up. New Grace has passed up seeing Fight Rob Halford to watch a boring Super Bowl Cowboys over Bills. Don't know what any of that fucking means. I know Fight Rob Halford, but Super Bowl, I don't know. I'm not American. Don't know what Cowboys is. Don't know what Bills is. Sorry, I'm a England person. We're all about soccer over here. Football. Right, user FQ7RT3PB6U says, true story. Got to hang out and talk to Cliff Burton outside the stadium by the bus while Ozzy was playing. When Lars walked up, he was being an ass to some kid. Cliff got annoyed at Lars, looked at me and said, I'm going to direct traffic. And he walked away, stood in the middle of the road and started to direct traffic. I then stood there awkwardly with Lars for a minute until he went to the bus. My big regret is not helping Cliff direct traffic. Yeah, that sounds fucking insane. Imagine that. Like, I helped Cliff Burton direct traffic while Lars was being a dick to some kid. That's just a great story. Campbell Oops says, Control denied, forbidden, second album demo never being completed. I mean, that's not really a regret from you, but yeah. Night Drive says, one regret is that I avoided hair metal for so long. Thinking it wasn't for me. Better late than never, though. Exactly. Another one is giving in to anxiety and skipping many shows, just like someone else said. That's a big thing. A lot of people don't like going alone, which is understandable, but just do it. Dive deep in with the sharks. Just go. Just go. Guitars and the power they hold. See what you did there. Going out to buy albums. I see a particular album, but I just don't buy it. Then I never see it in stock again. I did that with Left Hand Path. I don't know what I was thinking not getting it. Come on, you got to have Left Hand Path. Absolute classic Entombed album. The best. The best. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Olex Anderbyalenko? Maybe. I haven't listened to more bands, including classic ones, and sticking to a select few for decades. I used to do that when I was a kid, I listened to Cradle of Filth, Iron Maiden, Slayer, Metallica, that kind of stuff for just ages. I didn't really explore. So we're all guilty of it. But Rock Savant, great name. I discovered Every Time I Die through the guitarist's pro wrestling career. They released the album Radical in October and I fell in love. By January, went for a nasty breakup and I never get to see the chance to see them live. That's sad as well. Alex Chaveria says missing Dio concert. Yeah, because he passed away as well. There's a lot of, people dying. The regrets are. John Diablo. My biggest metal regret is not pushing harder to have finished my band's third album before we split up. Close to completion too, but life stuff got in the way. Life stuff always gets in the way. You can't help it though. It's just a fact of life. It always gets in the bloody way. Like a Snorlax, you need a flute to wake it up. Blaine Ryan Smith says not metal, but I had the chance to see Ace Frehley's solo band last summer and skipped it. Yeah. Because he passed away recently, so... Yeah, this is a depressing video. Too many people dying. We need some fun stuff. Gene McCrow, or Macrow, missing out on a Lake of Tears show when they were still doing the Ill Will tour. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know Lake of Tears, sorry. Henry Walton never got to see Def live, never got to see Fear Factory Burton. You could have seen them later on, but you were just getting into metal then. I'm pretty sure I've seen Fear Factory, but I'm pretty sure I saw them with Burton ages ago. It was on the very first festival I went to. Didn't see Vector in 2015-16, and they played Terminal Redux in full. That would have been sick. That would have been sick to see. Retro Vertigo, biggest regret, not getting a ticket for the Vector show. Oh, well, that's 2 in a row. Bloody hell. And they haven't toured your country since. 2 in a row for Vector. Rusty Darlington, biggest regret is not seeing Black Sabbath when they came to New Zealand on the final tour. You didn't go because 2 days later Maiden were coming and I couldn't afford both. Maiden is life, so of course I chose them. My man. Iron Maiden's tour this year was like a couple of weeks before the Sabbath show that I missed. And I did what you did. I picked Iron Maiden over Sabbath. Regret it kind of because Ozzy died, but at the same time, I like Iron Maiden more. So, some people don't, but I do. They got me into metal, so fuck it. Ason Z says missing Sodom at Hell's Heroes in Houston. He was at Dallas for Municipal Waste Brain Squeeze tour. Had you known Sodom would be taking a break, you would have gone. You got kicked in the face by Stage Diver during Ghoul. Ghoul's great. That's sick. Agrippa says missed when Dismember played Stockholm last month due to being sold out weeks before. R.I.P. Yeah, rest in pieces. Shane McKenna never got to see Black Sabbath or Dio. Me for one of them. Mighty Kaiser missing the most recent metal threat. Would have loved to see Graveland, but luckily still got to see Argoslint and Necropole in September. That's pretty cool that you even got to see Argoslint. I mean, who else can say that? I prefer Graveland to both of them, but, still cool. Still cool. Nope says not seeing Nightwish retire. Yeah, I haven't seen Nightwish at all. In fact, I skipped seeing them headline one time, and I went home, but that was with Floor. So, I kind of regret that. The Drail says, regret going to see Opeth in a college town. 4-hour trip and the drunk frat bros couldn't stop howling during the mellow parts. Never going to a college venue again. That happened to me during the Heritage Tour. People just screaming like, where's the metal? I had a great time on the Heritage Tour, but, yeah, people were just screaming for the metal. It was annoying. Oscar says, listening too loud on my headphones. Yeah, that could give you tinnitus. You get the ringing. Manosphere vinyl, my biggest disappointment was finding out Questy was into Bonnie Blue Q. The Bonnie Blue Q. It's like Bonnie's, like Blue's Clues. The Bonnie's Blues Clues. I love the picture, by the way. Callum Nichols says getting into bands after they broke up, for example, Children of Bodom. Luckily, I saw Children of Bodom when Alexi was still alive. Great show. Always remember that. Shrimp Dan, not diversifying my taste sooner. Very limited selection first. You hated listening to anything unfamiliar. Then in your early 20s, you began to branch out. I don't think I've ever learned to appreciate it, if not for Neoblivscaris, though. What, death metal? That's pretty cool. So you got into death metal through Neoblivscaris. That's quite cool, because that's like a progressive death metal band-ish. I'd just say pure prog, but in the Opethian vein. Very cool. Bad Cooper. First regret is I owned Korn albums as a kid. Second regret is I got into black metal, but never appreciated Bathory until a few years ago. Now they're in my top 3. Bathory, how can you not appreciate Bathory? That's one of the first bands I got into. Burzum, Bathory, Cradle of Filth doesn't count. Burzum and Bathory are like the main bands I got into. So good. At least you learnt the error of your ways. Gorgov Studios used to think all metal was like Slipknot. Didn't know about the subgenres and how rich the subjects could be. Yeah, there's so many different subjects within the music. Like you said, paganism, history, concept albums. It's deep. It's not just, it's not just Slipknot. There's loads of things going on. Against the Wickedly Music says, might be more sad answer than most, but at least with an uncanny feeling. He went to see Trivium Sabaton and Huntress back in 2000. I know where this is going. 15 and 16. And it was the first metal show you ever went to. The show was great, but afterwards, Jill Janis was hanging out and talking to fans. I was young and shy, so even though I had the opportunity to meet her, I didn't talk to her. You probably know, yes, she took her own life a few years later. It's a bit, yeah. I saw Huntress live. I was at the Barrier, so Jill was like right in front of me, like right here. And it was a great show. She was a great singer, but yeah, sadly, she did kill herself, which is not ideal. And yeah, R.I.P. This is depressing. Too many people dying. Metal Mike says, having vehicle problems and missing really good concerts happening near you. That sounds like some advert. Dirty single housewives near you. That's vehicle problems in a concert near you. Xantrio, it's not metal, but I missed the last Motorhead show in my country. You thought next time, and Lemmy died 3 to 4 months later. Ooh, that close. That's bad. Also missing out Mastodon with Brent. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Another one, I walked right past the Converge set once at a mainstream festival before I started listening to them. They're one of my all-time favourite bands now. I'll never forgive myself. I'm sure that's happened to loads of people. Missing out on a favourite band when you didn't really know them. Last but not least, Eximus. When I saw that there's Immolation and Carcass in 2 different shows, but I know it wouldn't be possible for me to see them. 2 great bands, but you can't see them. That sucks. This has been sucky. Everyone's regrets are pretty bad. A lot of it is missing it due to people dying, which is, you can't help it. Like, luckily, I've been quite lucky in my experiences, because I've seen Fly? Linkin Park with Chester, I've seen Dio, I've seen Motorhead, I saw The Rev with Vent Sevenfold, I've seen Brent with Mastodon, Alexi with Children of Bodom, saw Power Trip with Riley Gale, like Chris Cornell. Like, I'm pretty lucky that I've seen a lot of the people that have kind of died. The only one is Ozzy, that's the only one I can think of where it's really like, holy shit. The actual godfather of metal is the one I missed. Fucking hell. But anyway, those are some pretty meaty regrets you guys had. What did you think of each one? Let me know in the comments below any ones that people have missed off. If you haven't seen my post and you want to tell me down below, it'll be interesting to read all of them. So tell me your own metal regrets down below. And we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.